Hey, my name is Captain Badass, and today I will be reviewing Star Wars Battlefront 2 Classic. Okay, so Star Wars Battlefront 2's story takes place during the early stages of the Clone Wars, as well as taking place during the rise of the Empire. You play the role of a clone trooper who is a member of the elite 501st Legion. The 501st were made up of battle-hardened clones who had proven themselves beyond the normal standards of what a soldier was capable of doing, never giving up or giving in even when the odds were stacked against them. The clone trooper that you take the role of records all of the battles he has witnessed in a diary and retells them to you, the player. This helps give you, the player, context as to what is happening and what is taking place during each mission. You will get to live through the various locations from the Star Wars universe, most of which are based on locations that aren't seen in the movie.
Was really after an experimental Mygeetan power source that the Chancellor wanted for his super laser. Keeping Mundi in the dark wasn't easy. The Jedi had become increasingly wary.
Okay, so now that I've given you a brief oversight of what the story is and about, it is now time to talk about the gameplay itself. So, as I have previously stated, you assume the role of a clone trooper. But which clone trooper will you be? The great feature about Battlefront 2 is that you are not forced to play a specific character. Yes, you are playing a clone trooper, but like I said, which one? Each mission will have a variety of clone classes that you can play, which allows for diversity and situational use, meaning that if you choose the role of a standard infantry trooper, you are best utilised in offense and defense, whereas playing as a scout trooper, you are best used for defense and support, as you'll be able to help pick off enemies from a distance, helping your allied forces push on to their objectives. There are also a wide selection of vehicles that you can commandeer during your missions, such as tanks, the AT-RT, the ARC-170, and my personal favourite, the LAAT gunship. This helps with changing the flow of the battle, as you may need to switch to a different class to deal with the problem at hand, or take control of a nearby tank or fighter to push through to your objectives. So, with each mission, you will have a set of objectives that you will need to complete. How you choose to complete your objectives is up to you, and not all missions are set on the ground, some are set within space, which allows for some great dogfights and ship-to-ship interior fighting. And the game also allows for third and first person perspective combat, which allows for a varied combat perspective. The game also comes with 4 additional game modes. You have your standard campaign, which is where your story and main gameplay will be, but it also comes with multiplayer, although some services might not be functional on consoles or on Steam. You'll have to have a look into that. You also have instant action, which is basically like multiplayer but with AI instead of human players. And last but certainly not least, you have Conquest. Conquest is similar to instant action except more strategy based. You have 4 factions: Republic, Empire, Rebellion, and the CIS, also known as the Confederacy of Independent Systems. You pick a faction, you are then given a map with a variety of planets. Both teams have a ship to begin with, and the aim of the game is to conquer the galaxy. You do this by invading other planets and capturing them. You have to capture all planets and destroy all enemy forces to successfully conquer the galaxy. Okay, now let's discuss the topic of graphics. Okay, so while the game was made back in 2005, I might look like it has not aged all that well, which it kind of hasn't. It still builds a great atmosphere and created some great locations that have been featured from the movies, such as Mygeeto and the Battle of Coruscant. Now, compared to the new reboot, there are massive improvements, but the problem with the reboot is that yes, you have a brilliant environment such as Endor, but without a good story to go with it, you're really just looking at a picture book with no context.
Nice one, droid.
The character designs are okay, as throughout most of the game you will be playing as the role of a clone trooper, so the armor designs that they wear are spot on. It's where the hero designs are the issues that you might see. with characters such as Obi-Wan and Cara-Mundi, the detail on the faces seem to be a bit unrecognisable. But despite these few noticeable issues, you will soon forget that these issues are even there, as you will soon get drawn into the gameplay and story. But if you do find it too noticeable, you can always download some mods for the game that give it a good, facelift. Okay, so now let's move on to the topic of sound. So the sound is where I think the game really shows its quality. There are plenty of tracks that are taken from the movies, each player depending on the location or mission you are doing.
Test codes should give us the element of surprise. Let's get this over with.
The vehicles all sound believable, especially when it comes to the space battles, as when you're using your thrusters to do a dodge maneuver, it sounds exactly like they do in the movie when they're evading missiles and, other fighters. The blasters and other varied blasters also sound very authentic from the movies. So, to conclude my review, would I recommend this game? Yes, I absolutely would. This one is one of them games where they got everything right. You have a great story that is not a complete copy and paste from the movie, unlike other games that do a movie tie-in. Not this one. While it does take place in the universe that it is based on and sticks to the lore, it also tells its own story. You also have a variety of game modes and gameplay styles. This game lets the player stay in control the whole time. So I would say buy this game now because it is one of a kind gem that deserves to be loved. Plus there are tons of mods that you can use to change the gameplay up after you have finished the base game.